codependents tend to do is take accountability for other people who they don't want to force to take accountability for themselves, because we feel shame and guilt and sad around emotional responsibility. And then we take that accountability on ourselves. So what that can look like is if you are in a relationship with someone who is a little bit emotionally unstable or emotionally volatile, and you fear them having to face their own consequences, because they're going to have an emotional reaction to you, or they're going to have an emotional reaction to themselves, or you're afraid that somehow you, by holding them accountable, are contributing to their mental instability. And I want you to see that you not holding and this is not always true, but in a lot of cases this is true, you not holding somebody accountable because you're afraid of their mental instability is creating mental instability in you. The very thing you're trying to avoid in them, you are creating in yourself, right? So that void that is within them, you are taking on double fold. So what I want to say about this is one thing only. It is acceptable to recognize that it's not always about you, and that sometimes in order to be you in the world, you have to reconcile it being okay to let somebody else deal with their own consequences, to let their cards fall, let the reality that they created. This is the thing. A lot of us go, I don't want them to feel that. I don't want them to feel that about me. But if I force them to take accountability, I don't want to see the end result of that. I don't, I'm afraid that they're going to have to face their own creations. And we do that because we're afraid that somebody's going to make us face our own creations when we are mentally unstable, right? So we don't want to make other people accountable, and we fear making other people accountable. But I want you to see that people have to face their own creations, okay? It is not about you and your relationship with this person that is going to make or break their life. It is about them actually facing their own consequences of their choices. And a lot of us are going, I don't like consequences because the only way we learned consequences was through punishment. So we think that we're punishing somebody if we're making them accountable, when that is not what's going on, right? It's very simple. This is the reality, and in order for you to answer and face your reality, I, as a person who's very uncomfortable holding other people accountable, have to hold you accountable. And then I'm going to let the cards fall where they will, and I'm going to let you face the consequences of your reality. But so many of us are trying to take away experiences from other people. I mean, as a mother, I mean, this is most prevalent for me as a mother. We're trying to take away their experiences because we don't want them to face the consequences, and we don't want to be entangled emotionally in whoever they become as a result of them having to face the consequences, because we're afraid of them. And we're afraid of facing consequences. We're afraid of facing reality a lot. So when we are forced to make somebody else do it, we become afraid. But I want you to just see that when people face their consequences, you are not really a part of the equation. If you are forcing somebody to be held accountable to their consequences, it's not about you personally. Because it's easy to go, oh, what if this person's mad at me? What if this person's so upset with me? I'm going to have to deal with extra consequences. And as a codependent empath, my God, the energetic hit of somebody being upset with you because they are held accountable to their own choices is terrible. Because to be fair, most of the time it doesn't even have anything to do with you, but they've roped you into their consequences, and now you have to deal with, like, oh my God, I have to deal with the fact that this is the reality that's created. And if I don't want to be mentally unstable and deal with the consequences of this other person's creation, I have to hold them accountable to deal with it, period. And I want you to just know it's not personal. You don't have to take that personally. It is uncomfortable to face reality for a lot of us. Right? And the only way we're going to get into reality, and the only way we're going to get other people with us into reality, is to face the consequences of our creations, period. So you trying to stop somebody else from facing their own consequences is dangerous, not just for them, but for you. Okay? So stop taking it so personally, this idea of accountability. And I know it's hard. It's so hard, right? I never want to hold anybody accountable. Because I feel sad, I feel bad, I feel like, oh, if this person like really knew better, they wouldn't be doing this or something. But the way that people know better is usually by actually being handed their own cards and playing their own deck, instead of having everybody else be like, oh, let me throw you one of my best cards. Oh, let me hook you up with this. It's like, okay, well, that's your deck. That's the creation that you are choosing right now, right? So you can't just give away your deck and not hold other people accountable for what's in their hands and what they're creating, because it literally takes away your best cards and gives something to them. So your desire to not see them mentally unstable makes you mentally unstable, okay? I hope this makes sense. Good morning. I'm Stacy Hoch, somatic embodiment coach, author of Imperfectly Sane and Earn Your Luck, a field guide for living beyond your narcissistic parents' wildest dreams. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, check it out, stacyhoch.com. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Bye.